What have I done? What have I become? I can't describe this. This is my mid-mic crisis.
Hello and welcome to the Mid-Mic Crisis. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Chamber. And Chamber, we're back.
Unbelievable. Back in 1080p, buddy. It feels like 4K.
That's too many P's.
That is 1079.
79 too many P's. Well, look, since we've last done video, I've gotten less fat. You've gotten less fat, so you know
there's like a 13-year-old kid missing from the two of us. I think.
Not my 13-year-old kid.
No, I mean, between the two of us, it's got to be.
You mean
the weight of a 13-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be back in the video format. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be great. I think we'll be able. The audio can only take you so far. When you look like us. When you look like us, you need that next level of
100%. I mean, look, you've always been the looks of this show, so we've been holding you back for too long.
You know what? It's good to be seen. It's nice to see you. I love it. I think this is gonna be great.
Here's the thing: with this format,
yeah,
it will force us to actually have some structure to this show. I think.
I don't like that one bit, but I agree.
I disagree. I think you've been yearning for the structure for quite some time.
Just like a shitty kid just needs structure.
Yeah. And I use the Twitter Space format as a place where I can just kind of show up, roll the ball out and do my thing. But if we're going to be doing this once a week, which, by the way, I believe that is the new schedule, once a week on Wednesdays from 4 to 5 Eastern, correct?
That is going to be the new schedule.
If we are doing this once a week, we got to put our best foot forward.
I don't disagree. And
we're going to take this and chop it up into a bunch of different short form content things and throw it out on the Twitter Spaces and the TikToks,
wherever they are, yeah.
And this really helps us not have to even let some of the nefarious characters that have developed over our time on Twitter Spaces up on stage anymore. We get to gatekeep. And when we were discussing doing this, the one thing that you said was a requirement was that you had to hit a certain minimum time talking through the hour. Yeah. And I feel like we've been
43 minutes.
That. Yeah. So exactly. Your talk threshold is 43 minutes. And we just couldn't do that with bringing all those people.
The T-Rose of the world,
the T-Rose, the Pats, all of that.
Good.
We do have
T-Rose in this. I just saw T-Rose in the comments.
There he is, right there, T-Row with his big boxes of Killer Bears cereal out there.
That's terrific.
And don't think for a second that we have forgotten those who have helped us get to this incredible level of success. And who I'm talking about there is our wonderful producer Payne, who actually is here, but backstage. Look at him, there he is. Beautiful face reveal.
we just came up with a killer Payne segment too, by the way. In the pre-show meeting, we developed. It'll be really cooking next Wednesday, but we'll probably have.
Yeah, Payne's getting his own segment here, so we're really we're committing. We've upped his salary to 98 cents an episode, and we're cooking up his own segments. Brings down the visuals of the show. But I'm excited, Chamber. I mean, tell the folks maybe some of our reasoning why we wanted to go back this way.
I think some of it was, I mean, it's the audio side of it is limiting. I think the major part of the show, having the video component, be able to share, especially when we're talking about AI all the time and we can't fucking show anything.
Totally. No,
you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the main component. We'll be able to show people how we're using the tools we're using, whether it be, creating images or videos or audio. We'll be able to show you the sites, how they use, how to use them, all that fun stuff. So I think for the viewer, I think it's going to be a way better experience.
We're on X too. Look at this. There you go, Chamber. It does show up and it shows you which platform people are chatting from. So
I wasn't 100% sure we would get the X comments.
Yeah, we didn't the last time we used to do this. So, I mean, gosh, we haven't done this since, man, when was the last time we were on? When was the last time we did video? 2022? We did all of 2023 on Spaces.
I think
wow.
So. I think
that's
so.
wild. Welcome, Trend Drift, my best friend Doug. This is as close as I'll get to see. This is as close as I'll get to see you in person, Chamber, ever. But me and Doug, we're gonna plan a mandate here soon, and that's how we're rolling. So, shall we get into it? What are we talking about today? We've got some AI news. We've got some crazy crypto Twitter drama, and we've got dad stuff. Followed by, I mean, are we doing a 1 minute of pain today or no?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. See how pain feels.
All right. So let's kick it off with some dad talk. And, I'm super excited here for the return of all of your wonderful drops. So let's talk dad stuff.
Dad talk! Dad talk! It's time for some dad talk!
Dad talk drop. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that one's brought to you by dads across the world. And
this segment is sponsored by dads. Do you have a child? Congratulations, you're a dad.
You're a dad. I wanted to
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you too. You texted me on Sunday wishing me a happy Father's Day, which I always appreciate. You're the one that reaches out on special occasion days, whether it's New Year's or Christmas. You're the guy, and I feel like a piece of shit every time I see that text come through. And I'm like, and you wish me a happy Father's Day, and it warmed my heart. But I knew you had plans on Sunday. I knew there was going to be a Bunchu family get together, and I knew there was going to be food served. And the first thing I texted you back was, I want to see the full Bunchu spread. And I meant food. And you didn't disappoint. Yeah. It was the food. But you didn't disappoint. It was another phenomenal spread at Casa de Bunchu.
Cooked by my own father this time. So
love to
dad
see it.
Cooking on Father's Day. We had some, what did we have? Filet mignon with some fettuccine Alfredo and some salmon. That's the Papa O specialty over there. So
what a treat.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So what did you do on Father's Day? Anything good?
Yeah, I mean, it's all manufactured fun by my wife and kids that I don't want to participate in whatsoever. My daughter's
I got this wonderful thing here.
What'd you get? Oh, your family loves you.
Yeah, they like me a little. It says that I am stronger than the Hulk, cooler than Batman, quicker than Spider-Man, funnier than Deadpool, questionable, smarter than Iron Man, I guess.
I guess so.
Faster than the Flash. Braver than Superman, and tougher than Wolverine, and they're all little Lego guys there.
I freaking love that. Like, that is nice. No, my kids drew me some Father's Day cards. They got me an album that I was wanting to get, so that was very nice. But they wanted to go fishing. That was their big.
Oh, interesting.
They were like, let's.
Okay.
My youngest daughter's like, I want to catch a fish today. I'm like, well, let's go catch some fish. I don't know if you know this. In the many years that we've been doing this, I don't know if you know how good of an angler I am. I'm
God, you got angles for days, my friend.
I'm like a pretty competent angler.
What is it that you can't do? You are you're
some people say nothing. Some people say nothing.
You're a good golfer. You're basically a priest.
More or less,
You can play some music.
I can do angle. A lot of things.
You can score 20 in an NBA game. Is that
easily? I mean, wide open, not unguarded, but wide open. You release time, I'll be all right. But yeah, no, it was good. So my 6-year-old, my oldest caught her first fish last year, and my youngest, it was priority one that she wanted to catch fish. They ended up catching 3 fish each on the weekend.
Wow.
We were reeling in catfish and bass, and we were having a good time.
Wow.
So it was fun. It was fun. That's much fun as I mean, the perfect Father's Day is just not being bothered at all.
We just had a day at my parents' house. I did catch a little 40-minute dad nap as I watched the final round of the US Open, which was electric. Did you catch that at all?
I did catch it, yes.
Poor Rory McIlroy still.
Buddy. Rory, I saw too many fun memes after that one.
Oh, yeah.
They were relentless on Rory. But yeah, no, it was good. Good Father's Day. It's never as good as Mother's Day. I feel like Mother's Day is just the hot ticket, and we're it's
so we've got this segment called Dad Talk now because we are in our midlife crises, you and I, and the title of the show is now Mid-Mic Crisis. And so what are the things that are in our lifestyle that we can talk about? And our children is one of them, and the trials and tribulations of parenting. Their unique set of circumstances. And when we're throwing out ideas for this segment this morning, you were like, "What are we talking about today?" And I just put in for my segment of Dad Talk, Bunchu's Kids a Cop. Did you catch that? And that's what we're
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, so. Okay, so this is quite the experience I had the other day. So it's 2 weekends ago, and we had some guests over for the weekend, and we put the children to bed, and then we partook in a little recreational activities on my deck as the kids went to bed. You picking up what I'm putting down?
So far, so good.
Okay. We got the monitor out, and my oldest is, he's a 2 or 3 round bedtime. Like you put him down, he comes back, you got to go up at least one time. And so he starts, crying, and I go up there and I'm like, "What's up, buddy?" And he's doing his whole thing about how he was sweaty or something. That's what he was at the time. And then he goes, "Hey, what do your hands smell like?"
Sorry, did he get a whiff of your hands and was curious on what the smell was, or did he have an independent thought to find out what your hands smelled like?
I think it was the latter.
Okay, all right.
No.
Because I feel like it's a difference.
It was the former. It was the former because I'm tucking him into bed, right?
Okay, all right. So he caught a hand whiff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and he's like, "What do your hands smell like?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Nothing." And he's like, "Let me smell them." And I'm like, "No." I was like, "No, I'm not gonna let you smell my hands." He goes, "Come on, let me smell them." He's 3, by the way. And now he's like, I'm in full interrogation now. I am back against the wall. He's like, "Hey, get over here. Let me smell them."
Give it a little sniffy.
And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Well, what?" He's like, "Why your hands smell?" And I was like, "Oh, I was outside cleaning up because you guys made a big mess out there. I was cleaning it up and I was in the grass." And he goes, "Wait, why are you cleaning up right now? I'm in bed." And I was like, "Kid, I'm cleaning up because you guys made a huge mess outside, blah, 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 blah." And he goes, give me a kiss. And I'm like, what? Wow. And he goes, give me a kiss. I'm like, all right. So I kiss him on the cheek, and he goes, kiss me on the lips. And I'm like, you little narc. I go, absolutely not. I'm like, you go to bed, and I'm like putting him back to bed and stuff. I'm like, all right, good night, buddy. I go to the door, and he goes, wait a second. Why are you cleaning at night? And he just keeps grilling me for like 5 more minutes. And yeah, so my kid is a cop. And the other day we have this tradition on weekends where him and I will go to the bagel shop and we'll go get coffee in the morning, and it's like our little father-son thing. And I was told 4 times in the 20-minute trip to keep both of my hands on the steering wheel as I was driving. So cop, traffic cop, drug cop, all of these different law enforcement activities are what my 3.5-year-old is into. So Bunchu's kid is a cop is the dad talk segment of the day.
Bunchu's kid is a cop. Constable Bunchu. That's fantastic. I love it. That's phenomenal. I mean, the only dad talk I have today, my youngest daughter has finished kindergarten, so we went to like a kindergarten play just before the show here. And I pulled my other daughter out of school early. So I kind of go do that while my wife's doing stuff with my youngest daughter. And so my oldest daughter comes. I said, oh, like what were, there was half an hour left. I said, what were you doing? What did I take you out of? She's like, oh, we were learning about puberty. And I'm like, great. Well, 1 second here. I guess we're going to have to do, because I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to homework. We do lots of additional homework at the house.
Oh, really? I would not have pegged you as that, actually.
I'm the worst. She hates
really?
It. Yeah, I'm a real narc when it comes to homework. So
you and my son would get along.
So yeah, after the show, I said, we're going to have to do an hour of puberty talk with Dad.
Oh my God. After today's show?
Yeah, after today's show.
Oh Jesus. All right. So wait, let's
we're going horseback riding, and then it's puberty talk after that.
Okay, so you've got quite the agenda ahead of you after today's show. So today's show you're going horseback riding. How old is your daughter?
Soon to be 11.
Okay, so do you have a formal agenda? Have you set a calendar invite?
It's so funny you say that. I just set up her calendar for invites, so I can send her things, things that pertain to her in her calendar, like show days and stuff like that. So she is now familiar on how to use calendar invites and how to accept them and whatnot.
One moment.
Yep. All right. Yeah. We got to chat.
Yeah, we're gonna formalize this agenda for you and see.
Can we pull it up? Can we pull it up? This is what.
Yeah, we sure can. This is why we're gonna do this. Yeah, let's see here. How can I pull this up? Present.
So it's gonna be interesting.
I've
been excited to come back to the.
Here you go. Show me an agenda for me to have a puberty talk with my 11-year-old daughter. So here you go. It's starting it off really nicely. Introduction and a greeting with a warm and open tone. How's that?
A warm and open tone. I like that. Yeah, I feel like that's where I usually come from.
Purpose of the talk. Explain why you're having this conversation, which is to provide information, answer questions, and ensure she feels supported. We good with that?
Yeah, we want to make sure she's supported 100%.
Definition and normalcy. Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, yeah. The normal. You want to normalize it. It's not a big deal. No, we're not. Yeah. But we're talking feet. We're talking arms. It's all the same.
Yeah, feet and arms, right? Of course,
it's all the same. It's all body parts.
Yeah. Physical changes, growth spurts, development, skin changes, acne, and increased oiliness. Sorry to tell you that never goes away.
Sorry. Skin changes, acne, and increased oiliness. Is that what it says?
Yes. Oh. ZachXBT is very concerned about your oil levels.
All right.
Yes.
My face
Then we've
feels
got
oily today.
the female related stuff, emotional changes, mood swings, body image, self-esteem, hygiene and self-care, healthy lifestyle, privacy and boundaries, and then questions and open dialogue. Then it's giving her resources, a closing, which is reassurance and availability, and then a follow-up. So then you just set a new calendar invite after that.
I like it. I think that'll
What do you
work
think?
perfectly. I love it. ChatGPT,
Undefeated.
undefeated.
You've now coached Chamber through not only his youth soccer coaching career, but now professional puberty motivational speaker.
I like it. I think that segments that is a perfect segment or a perfect segue to the next segment in our day today.
It is actually.
Yeah, let's do a little artificial unintelligence.
Feeling dumb, want some fun, time for some artificial unintelligence.
I mean, God, so good. So this is also created. That was created with AI, correct?
It was. It was created with AI.
Which tool, Suno or Udio?
I'm using Udio most of the time for that one.
Have you been dabbling in both, or mostly a Udio
mostly
guy?
Just Udio. I've only just used Udio for the most part.
Have you experimented at all with the new features in which you can upload your own audio?
No, I have not. That sounds like fun.
Both Udio and Suno have a similar feature that now allows you to upload your own audio to a track to create new and different experiences. So I would recommend trying it. You probably are going to fall in love with it, as you always do. Let's get into this topic here. This is based on a tweet that I had. Payne, you can pull up the tweet is fine. This is perfect. So this is an article that I read the other day, just scrolling through my normal AI news, and this is something I found super interesting. I had been talking about this specific topic a while back. I did not think we would see something like this so soon in the generative AI life cycle. But the tweet I put out the other day, tired of Trump and Biden, but would you vote for AI? AI Steve is running for UK Parliament. His platform that he's running on includes data-driven governance, enhanced transparency, and increased government efficiencies. And it engages with constituents via chatbot and reflects community preferences in its policies. Chamber, what are your first reactions when you hear this? This was actually, and just so you know, this is like a real thing that is happening. This is courtesy of NBCnews.com's tech in the tech sector. So the full article we'll put here in the show notes, but it comes from NBCnews.com. Chamber, thoughts?
Since really delving into AI, this has been probably my most intriguing aspect of it is governance or government. And because, you see what we're dealing, whether you're in America or in Canada or wherever you are in the world, all these politicians, for the most part, are absolute dog shit. And I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense if we're programming the AI, with certain parameters. Obviously there's levels to this, so you have to build in parameters for the AI to function. But if at the end of the day the function is to create a government that satisfies the greatest population of your country, or the greatest amount of people in your country, I mean, it makes the most sense. Tiro.
I can't put that one up there.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Tiro doing Tiro things.
Yeah, so just a little more here. So AI Steve is represented by Sussex businessman Steve Endicott. So AI Steve will appear on the, Steve Endicott is actually what will appear on the ballot alongside, oh no, I misspoke. It actually will be AI Steve on the ballot. And he's quoted here saying, AI Steve is the AI co-pilot. He said in an interview, I'm the real politician going into parliament, but I'm controlled by my AI co-pilot. So that's interesting. So it's not just like this full-on, robot or bot. It's Endicott, who is the chairman of Neural Voice, a company that creates personalized voice assistants for business in the form of AI avatars. Neural Voice's technology is behind AI Steve, one of the 7 characters the company created to showcase its technology. He said that the idea is to use AI to create a politician who is always around to talk with constituents and who could take their views into consideration. This is super interesting. Like the 24/7 nature of it, in terms of like, you almost think of it as, speaking with a customer service agent, right? Mm-hmm. Is really interesting because for a lot of reasons. It can actually almost serve as a political customer service agent. You know what I mean? Like if you are upset about, I don't know, ice cream and ice cream vending machines in the schools, right? You could go on and talk to AI Steve and tell him, WTF. What I think is really interesting about that is that data can be collected and measured and segmented to give you a really interesting platform to run on, or at least a pulse of the people that you are representing, which is obviously what the point of this is in terms of what he's saying the benefit of this would be. What are your thoughts on that, right? Because you're basically just collecting mass amounts of data that are from the end user, the person you're trying to represent, because you're not always there to talk or speak or listen to them. You're running on a platform that you think is representative. This can actually give you real data, real voice of the people's stuff. Obviously, you weed out whatever the nonsense is, but you can get real insights from this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, again, I just think it would help speak for a greater segments of the, whatever country or whatever political arena, whether it's municipal, state government or federal government. Like I really do think it just has more of the, the population in its sights when we do it this way. So I love it. I'm a big, I like the, like you said, data-driven governance. I think that is where most governments are lacking right now. So it's very old school, right? Like it's very topic driven right now. Like at least in Canada, and I mean, it's the same thing in the States. Like they pick 2 or 3 topics or 2 or 3 hot takes they have, and both sides go to fight, or, however many sides there are, battle on those 2 or 3 different things, where when you're using, data-driven governance, it's really taking more issues and issues, honestly, that aren't sexy, you know what I mean? Or that aren't provoking, you know what I'm saying? And those are really the things that most people need, is the boring government.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
What's actually interesting too is it's actually probably an edge on your opponents, right? Because you're actually able to almost hyper personalize issues for people based on what you're kind of saying that they really care about, right? And you're able to kind of draw this Venn diagram of what most people's real concerns are. So how it works People can ask AI Steve questions or share their opinions on his policy on its website, during which a large language model will give answers in voice and text based on a database of information about his party's politics. If he doesn't have a policy for a particular issue raised, the AI will conduct some internet research before engaging the voter and pushing them to suggest a policy. AI Steve, which is open to the public to try, told NBC News in response to a question about its stance on Brexit, as a democracy, the UK voted to leave, and it's my responsibility to implement and optimize this decision regardless of my personal views on the matter. That's kind of a weak one, AI Steve. Pick a lane. But it is, this part is interesting. He said he's also seeking thousands of whom he calls validators, and we've heard that term before, or people he is targeting because he believes they represent the common man, in particular, Brighton locals who have a long daily commute, right? So, and he says, we're asking them once a week to score our policies from 1 to 10. If a policy gets more than 50%, it gets passed. And that's the official party policy, he said, adding, every single policy I will say that is my decision is my voters' decision. So again, that's kind of how he's getting this real-time feedback and weighing importance of certain things from these people. Super fascinating. The question is, you would then vote for
100%. Absolutely. Like without a doubt. Like I'm sure I'm not the only one. Again, I'm in a different country than you are, but I have to imagine it's probably pretty similar, where you're at a point where you're looking at your options politically, and it's just like, this is absolutely terrible. Like, it's just terrible choices. And if you're giving me this option, like 100% I'm going this way. Like, it's not even, no doubt in my mind. Like, I want to take the person out of it as much as possible. Because
super interesting. I can't wait to see how this develops. I was messing around in the war room after I posted this tweet and asked people if they would vote for AI candidate. Most of them said no, not yet, not in a kind of super important role like the president or something, but maybe in something like local government. Do you think, because I said there's a chance that we see, some large roles in government in our lifetime that are AI officials. What do you think? Most people I said that to said, no, not in our lifetime, but I'm not so sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking lifetime roles. Is that what we're saying? Using AI?
Yeah, but I'm saying, do you think we'll have, say the president of the United States in our lifetime, or a role similar? Maybe not president, but say a congressman, AI
maybe
congressman.
Later in life, late stages of our life, maybe. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening within the next 20 years. But maybe after that, like, you want to see test cases. Like, I would like to see a city take on something like this and get some data on how it worked. Like, if all of a sudden you take, like, what's a shitty city in America? Like, I think what's that one place in Indiana?
French Lick.
But yeah, like, you take just a terrible shitty city and provide them with some AI governance, and over the course of 5 years you see impactful changes to what's happening with that city. Now we're starting to build a test case for it, where then you can go to that next level, whether it's state government or federal. But you definitely want to start small, see the data, see those benefits that we think are going to be there. You want to actually physically see those things happen, and then it'll be much easier. I think it'll be much easier, to bring it on to the greater population. But we're definitely gonna have to start at a municipal level, I would say.
Shout out Larry Bird for French Lick, Indiana. Thanks, Tiro, the getting my French lick Indiana jokes. All right, that was our main AI segment. I had two more quick things here that I wanted to see if you had seen yet, both in the generative AI space with the creative stuff. Have you seen the new video models by Luma and Runway this week?
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited to see this.
So this one that we have here up on the screen is from Runway. So this is their Gen 3 Alpha. They've a new frontier for high fidelity controllable video generation. So Payne, if you want to even scroll down a little, there's a couple of these. So this is a text to image, or sorry, text to video prompt. So the prompt here, subtle reflection of a, you moved it on me, Payne, hold on. Subtle reflection of a woman on the window of a train moving at hyperspeed in a Japanese city. That was the result there. Then you've got this spacesuit, the astronaut running. Like, these are generated videos. Astronaut running through an alley in Rio de Janeiro. Then you've got flying through a colorful coral-lined streets of an underwater suburban neighborhood. I mean, Chamber, look at the quality of these. This is way, way different than Will Smith eating spaghetti, which we had, about 12 to 18 months ago. What say you on the current and ever-growing quality of these types of tools?
This is super impressive, because the other day I was asking about what the best video options were for AI, and you gave me some good options. But I kept forgetting.
This didn't exist when you asked me that, by the way. This was literally
that's what I'm saying.
Announced the day after.
And the options that you gave me, I kept forgetting that you can only really create 3-second clips, or more or less 3-second clips. And the Runway one, I believe, is 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's over triple the amounts of action you can create within a week of me asking you the question. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy.
It's crazy. So, so for just some backstory is we saw, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago now, Sora from OpenAI was teased, and that was blowing everybody's mind. The quality and the same, the generation length and all of that. Now, the crazy thing about that was the world, felt like it stopped that day, because
sure did.
Yeah, it was crazy. Everybody was talking about Sora this, Sora that, Sora this, Sora that. Now, you still can't use Sora to this day unless you are some secret cabal of folks that have access to it. Now, this that Payne is showing on the screen now, oh no, this is the Runway one, but Luma Dream Machine, so the company is Luma, launched Dream Machine just last week as well. And this, you're seeing here some of the generations that are coming out of this model. And if you're following anyone on X in the generative AI space, you've probably seen a bunch of examples of this in the past week. The crazy thing of this one, you can go from 0 to 120 seconds. And
wow.
And it's available for the public. You can use this right now, Chamber. So you can actually go, and I mean, obviously it's the hot thing on the streets. So it is super congested at the moment. There's a lot of wait on the generation times, but you can use this today. And Runway, you'll be able to use, I believe, this week. And the cool thing, I mean, Luma, the Dream Machine, I believe, is still free even. So you can use this for free right now. And it's impressive, man. It's wild, mind-blowing stuff. And I know for a 100% true fact that there are Hollywood studios and media companies that make content for television channels, Hollywood studios, all of that kind of stuff, looking into how to utilize this technology quickly. And I think you'll see a lot of really interesting stuff coming out of not only just like independent creators, because this puts a lot of really awesome creation and creativity in the hands of like independent folks, but you'll also be able to see, I think, things that you were never capable of in movies or TV in the past. It's crazy though, because this is probably going to cause the job loss stuff that we've talked about. Like, you will probably see studios trying to utilize this stuff where they can. But on the bright side of this, right? So imagine a documentary that normally, in the way documentaries are shot, you have kind of interviews, voiceovers, etc., and then they have usually live recreations, right, of scenes. And you can only tell so many stories that way, in that format, before it becomes like, well, it's impossible to recreate a scene from with dinosaurs, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
But using something like this, you can now create lifelike dinosaur recreation scenes that make all kinds of new storytelling and documentaries, series, and things like that possible. So it's going to open a whole new content lane. Mm-hmm. But it's always going to be that trade-off of like losing jobs, creating jobs, putting new tools in people's hands. Well,
especially like in the movie industry, right? Like, you think I'm a big horror movie fan, and through the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then about halfway through the 90s, there was a lot of practical effects, right? Like there's like legends of like horror movie practical effect, makeup artists, stuff like that. And some of my favorite movies. But we started to see the first kind of CGIs in the kind of late 90s, and a lot of them were pretty terrible. You were very aware you were watching, a CGI scene or whatever. And internet wasn't what it is today. There was zero social media. So the pushback from the industry or from other people wasn't as loud as it's going to be or has been with AI. And I think we're going to see. I'm already seeing it, like on TikTok. I'm seeing it on Twitter, where you're seeing people like boycotting movies because they used images, like AI generated images, on like 3 scenes, where it was just like one of the best movies I've seen this year, scary movie wise, was Late Night with the Devil. It's on Amazon Prime right now. If you like horror movies.
Oh, we got to bring back our recommendations.
I agree. Too. So this is a fantastic movie, and it takes place in like late 70s, early 80s, like the era of like the late night TV show host. And a couple of times, like a couple of parts of the movies, they cut to commercial break, and you get this like old timey like commercial break image. And I think there was 3 of them throughout the whole movie where they cut to commercial break, and those were AI generated. And like people wanted to boycott this like indie movie that, it wasn't like a big studio movie, and I think it was made during the strike, or maybe it came out just before the strike. So people were very upset about it, and I didn't see the problem with it. Obviously, I didn't even know it was AI, and now that you go back and you look at it, you're like, yeah, that was definitely like, Mid-Journey. So, somebody made it there. So we'll see.
T-Rose says no AI can reproduce his wit and candor.
T-Rose possibly could be an AI. So we don't
possibly know. Chamber, you have been called the Johnny Carson of podcasts. So,
yeah. Yeah, that is true. Heyo. I'll do. I'm old, but I'm not Johnny. I don't remember watching Johnny Carson old.
No, you were more of a Carson Daly than a Johnny Carson.
That is correct. That is correct. But yeah, no, I think we're going to see lots of social media, a lot of white knighting for I think that's what it's called. For.
Well, where do you stand? Are you for it or against it?
I'll tell you what, it takes a lot of money to make a movie these days, right? If you're a filmmaker, I'm for it because it's good. What it's going to do, it's going
to create more filmmakers.
It's going to create more filmmakers. It's going to get, like, if you go to the movies right now, it's sequel, remake, sequel, remake.
Yes, and it sucks. It
does suck.
There's only so many times I can watch, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
Since I've been alive, there's been 7 different Spider-Mans.
And my kid loves them all. I have to watch all of them. It's Spider-Man everything in this house, by the way.
So if it's going to allow, and it just reminds me of when I was listening to a podcast with one of my favorite directors, and he was talking about, he's a couple years older than me, but he's like, when digital handheld video cameras came out, it was a game changer. When you could make a pretty okay short movie or university film with a $500, $1,000 camera and make it pretty good. It changed the game. That's how we got Blair Witch. Some of these,
you're going to have more filmmakers. And then the other thing is you're going to get, I think where the future's going is hyper personalized on demand generated content.
Absolutely.
Crazy, right? I mean, imagine the really perverted stuff that'll be all over your Netflix.
So much.
You're gonna have a really it's gonna be weird.
Speaking of,
I want to watch Bigfoot meets Midsummer meets Blair Witch Project meets Old School.
I'm telling you, there's a movie like that it except for the Old School part, that exists that I've watched, and it's
it stars this bear and pig that keep coming across the screen here. I mean, super interesting stuff. And then maybe we'll save this for the last minute for producer Payne, but Apple, we skipped last week, but Apple and had their WWDC day, their Worldwide Developer Conference, and they announced all the crazy AI stuff that they're going to be putting into the iPhone coming soon. So that's going to be pretty crazy. I don't know did you see all of that stuff, Chamber?
No, I did not.
Well, we can either talk about that with Payne or we can go into that next time, because it's going to be, I mean, the AI stuff is now going to proliferate to billions of people, starting with iOS.
What was it called? What was the Apple one called? Was it called?
They're calling it Apple Intelligence.
That's what it was. Apple Intelligence. Were you impressed with it?
I think it's cool that it's going to be. Yes, I am impressed with it in the sense that it's like the beginning of all of this agentized stuff, right? Your apps are going to be able to take action for you, and everything you do is going to be hyper personalized in there. And I'm interested in the way they're doing the modeling, which is they're doing a lot of these really small, local, specialized models, things that can create a emoji based on your text, right? Just silly things like that. But that's how people are going to, start using this. And then what was crazy is they are actually partnering with OpenAI to embed ChatGPT into the software at certain points, and it'll actually prompt you based on what they showed of hey, would you like to use ChatGPT for this, which is really interesting. So, and I think the emphasis that Apple put on the entire thing was privacy and trust, which is kind of what Apple's known for. So I think that's kind of the big scary thing for a lot of people when it comes to AI when you're using it for the first time. And I think people, as a brand, Apple cannot lose trust, right? Like they can't do this Google.
Whoever was doing, I'll tell you what, whoever put out this, like the latest marketing campaign or whatever we're going to call it. I don't know who the guy was talking. There was a guy showing me some like new stuff on like what I can do with my text on the latest update and stuff like that. He was souring me on Apple. It was not as, I don't know. I'm like, like it doesn't have the same wow factor, to when, what's his name? I don't, who was like the main
Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs. Like, yeah, like it's gotten progressively worse. Like
who's that guy?
Stevie AI or whatever.
Steve. Now you have AI, Steve.
Yeah. So I don't know who the guy was now, but I feel like they've gotten progressively worse. And I felt like he was like getting excited about like text messages, like emojis for text messages. I'm like, this is not what I want, guy.
I agree with you, but this is how you're going to introduce billions of people to AI without breaking their brains.
That is true.
Right? Like
yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway, all right, we got a couple minutes left, but we have to touch on this crazy crypto drama that's happening right now.
Ooh, okay. I didn't even know.
Oh, you don't even know?
Buddy.
Oh my God. Well,
it's the part of the show where we talk about crypto.
That's right. Go for it. Hit the last drop.
It's the part of the show where we talk about crypto. It's the part of the show where we talk about crypto.
That's like got a little Beach Boys.
I love that. I went for like, that's what I was going for. I was going for
everybody gone surfing.
Surf rock. Yeah.
There you go. Surf rock. Okay. This is crazy. Have you heard anything about this Donald Trump coin and the pharma bro Martin Shkreli stuff? Have you heard this?
No. So I knew there was some, like a Donald Trump said he was putting out like his own celebrity coin. I think it was DJT, Donald J. Trump. But then I saw like 5 other ones. So then that got me confused and worried, and I didn't want to participate. That's all I know.
Okay, so there's a crazy amount of drama that's going on around this. I will try to do my best to recap it. There's a lot of stuff going on. This quote or this tweet from Tyler Did It, a friend of the show, at Tyler_did_it, does a good job of kind of high leveling the story, but then there's more to this, right? So GCR versus Shkreli, $100 million DJT bet recap. So apparently GCR, a Twitter personality, and Martin Shkreli had a bet. Shkreli said that the DJT token was real, like done by their team, and this guy said no chance, and they were going to bet. I think they started at like $1 million bet. Shkreli accepts and says, how high can you go in terms of how much would you bet? GCR comes over the top and offers betting up to $100 million.
No way.
They go back and forth on the terms. Shkreli says that Barron or Donald confirms that they have to confirm the token to be real. Shkreli then goes on Spaces saying that the bet was made and he's waiting on Kobe to wake up for the escrow. And
Really?
Overall, GCR said that it was cabal backed and he was approached to buy in. Shkreli says the wrong token and this one is super real, etc., etc. And at the time of this tweet, it was sitting at a $200 million market cap. But wait, there's more. And so then there's this crazy ZachXBT tweet that comes out, and he said, so this Arkham Intel tweeted out that F it, we ball $150,000 to the, they put up a bounty to the first person to definitively prove the identity of the creator, DJT, only on Arkham Intel. And ZachXBT comes in immediately and submits right. And so like
right.
when ZachXBT comes into it, something like that,
especially that hot.
Yeah, he's not messing around, right? And then apparently immediately after that, Martin Shkreli sends him, ZachXBT, a DM.
Okay.
And in the DM, Martin Shkreli says, "Between us, please," and sends him a screenshot from Andrew Tate.
No.
And Andrew
not
Tate
top G. Not top G.
in this tweet or in this screenshot, he says, "Barron called me yesterday to buy in, but it was 1 a.m. I told my team, they woke up 9 hours later. I told Barron to give me the amount of tokens I would have gotten from the buy-in at that time, and I'll pump it, but I don't think he can." And then Shkreli, assumingly this is who is responding, says, "I know, I think you can just say it's real, and this will be whatever that word is." But then Shkreli says to ZachXBT, "Between us, please. I have over 1,000 pieces of evidence. I created it with Barron." So then after Zach, I guess, shares this, Martin Shkreli jumps on a Twitter space immediately.
Was this the big one with him and Top G and like
with Kobe and all of that? Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah, so this is
not one of them have satisfied a woman in their entire life, by the way. How did that?
This was crazy. Yeah, so this was wild. Did you see any of this drama?
Nothing. No, none of it. This is fantastic.
And then there's this. So this screenshot comes out, and then there's this tweet by this one here from there's a tweet by Adam Cochran that talks about what Shkreli's parole requirements are. It says Shkreli's 3-year parole terms require him to give full financial statements and avoid any self-employment involving access to client money or investments. So either he's going to jail for fraud, or he managed an investment opportunity on behalf of Barron and goes to jail for violating terms of his parole. But most importantly, do you think he includes his offshore KuCoin account, which funded the coin with, on his financial reports to the courts? And then he like screenshots all of this stuff from the parole. I mean, this is just a wild timeline that we're in. Did you know any of this?
No, I did not know any of this. This is it's so funny that like these like quote unquote alpha males come into the space, and who they're dealing with or who they're participating in the space with are like geniuses that would never have anything to do with them,
who know how to work a blockchain. You mean
know, like and would love to take all these people down a peg or two. Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna go swimming in a great white shark tank. Like that's what they're doing. I hear it's rejuvenating.
Yeah, dude. What's so crazy about this is like they're doing this on transparent open ledgers. Like imagine what the hell they were doing behind closed doors. You know,
anyways,
I mean?
it's
crazy.
It is crazy. I'm happy to see this.
We didn't get to dive into this as much detail as there could have been, but I definitely wanted to inform you of this drama.
Now that we know, we can monitor and have an update next week, I think. How about that? I'll keep a closer eye on it too, because this is exciting stuff.
Now, as we wind down the show, it's up to Payne if he wants to come up this week, but we will be doing the 1 minute of Payne segment where Payne will grade the show and talk about anything we missed or chime in anything he had opinions on as we talked throughout the show. My only question to Payne today would have been, would he vote for AI candidates? Payne, would you have voted for an AI candidate? You can stay off of video if you want, but I need to know the answer to this. You can also text me.
Yeah. I don't know if he's having issues. You want to bring you up to stage? I don't know if he can or not. Let's see. 1 second.
Oh, is he there?
Am I here?
Yeah, you're there.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. For some reason, my screen is blank. I don't know what's going on, but
that's okay. You're mysterious.
Yeah.
Producer Payne, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I wanted to first of all give a shout out to Juneteenth, and the fact that you all are making me work it. So I really appreciate that. But
for the record, years ago, I want to say like 4 years ago, I celebrated Juneteenth on the show. And I educated Bunchu on what it was. So we have a history of promoting Juneteenth and supporting our brothers and sisters in the community.
Yes.
Wow. Much respect.
I just want to say, I agree with what you're saying, but I want to give some history on our show.
You've always been ahead of the curve. You always have been. Yeah. My pain segment for today would be just the fact that NFTs are dead. Crypto is dead. Everything's going to zero, but we're here having fun. I would grade the show, honestly, 10 out of 10, fellas, because the AI stuff, honestly, super fascinating. Now you've got me kind of geared in. I'm like, ooh, maybe I need to be in the show more talking AI so that I can be educated, be the next AI guy.
There, you could be an AI guy, and you could be an AI reply guy. You could do all of that stuff. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
And I would vote for an AI politician, based on the choices we have had recently. Why not?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
agreed.
There you go. I can't wait for more Producer Payne on the show. I'm glad that we're going to have this segment, and ever grateful for you for helping us out and the phenomenal job that you do to keep. Honestly, the show probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you anymore.
100%.
So,
100%.
Yeah, easy.
This is the one thing minute of fame.
The one thing I'm surprised that you didn't bring up is that Chamber's wearing glasses with no lenses in them.
They're in there. They were fogging up earlier. You didn't see that?
I think I asked them the same thing when we met, if they were legit or if they were just for looks.
The last thing I can't believe nobody gave me shit for was my mic stand and how I'm holding this.
I thought you were just being cool. I was digging it.
It broke. It broke. So this is what I have today.
I love it.
I'm getting a new one, and as soon as I do, I'll have it up. But today we're holding this like a cool kid. But that is going to do it for us today. We had, wow. Well, this is definitely the best show we've had in quite some time, Chamber. This should already make you bullish on the new format.
Very bullish. In Spaces, we show up right at the top. Son of a bitch.
That's it. Elon's pushing video, baby. We got to get out there. Do it.
So no,
maybe this is inspiration for Steve and Cap to do some of their own. There you go.
I would love it.
I don't think you're going to see their faces. You'll get the little talking head bubble. But don't forget, if you're the first time listener of this show, we have a bunch of awesome content on DGen Network. Check us out at DGen.network. Coffee with Captain every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern on Twitter Spaces. Check out Steve at NFT Bark putting out some awesome content on the timeline video format. You get to see Steve's resting mean face out there on the timeline as he was commenting today. He said he always looks mad in his thumbnail, and
he's such a sweetie.
I know. I just thought that was really funny. But that's going to do it.
Mock the drapes.
That's going to do it for us. Chamber, have fun doing horse stuff. And I can't wait for the update on the puberty talk. Until next time, keep the mic hot.
What have I done? What have I become? I can't describe this.